Have you ever wondered why some relationships thrive while others crumble? It's a paradox that has puzzled many for centuries. Relationships, as beautiful as they are, come with their own set of challenges. Perhaps the enigma lies not in the challenges themselves, but how we respond to them. Science, in its quest for understanding, has identified 6 key behaviors that prove to be detrimental to relationships. So, let's delve into these 6 behaviors and the scientific evidence behind them. The first of these behaviors is contempt. Now, when you hear the word contempt, you might think of it as a strong word, something that has no place in a loving relationship. But here's the interesting thing. Contempt can be subtle. It can sneak into your relationship without you even realizing it. It's that eye roll when your partner forgets to do something. It's that sarcastic comment when they're late. It's the silent treatment when they disappoint you. This concept of contempt comes from the work of Dr. John Gottman, a world-renowned relationship researcher. Dr. Gottman's research shows that contempt is the single greatest predictor of divorce. It's a toxic behavior that erodes the foundation of a relationship, creating a cycle of negativity and resentment. It's like a slow-acting poison, gradually weakening the bond between two people. And that's not all. Contempt doesn't just harm your relationship, it also affects your physical health. Research shows that couples who express contempt are more likely to suffer from infectious illnesses like colds and the flu. It's a double whammy, hurting your relationship and your health. Now, let's move on to the second killer behavior, criticism. We all criticize from time to time. It's human nature. But when criticism becomes a constant in your relationship, it can be incredibly damaging. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Criticism often comes from a place of frustration, but it's expressed in a way that puts the blame on your partner. It's the difference between saying, "You never help around the house and I feel overwhelmed and could use some help with the chores." Science shows us that criticism can trigger a defensive response, leading to a cycle of attack and defend, which can drive a wedge between you and your partner. It creates an environment of negativity where your partner feels constantly under attack. So there you have it, the first 2 behaviors that can slowly kill a relationship. Contempt and criticism, while seemingly harmless, can sow the seeds of a relationship's demise. We now move on to the 3rd and 4th behaviors, defensiveness and stonewalling. Defensiveness is a natural response to feeling attacked or misunderstood. It's like an invisible shield we put up to protect ourselves. But in the context of a relationship, this shield can become a barrier. Instead of fostering understanding, defensiveness often escalates conflict. It sends a message that we aren't open to feedback or criticism, and it can prevent us from acknowledging our own faults. Studies in psychology reveal the damaging effects of defensiveness. For instance, research from the University of Washington has shown that defensive behavior often results in a vicious cycle. When one partner becomes defensive, the other partner is likely to respond in kind, leading to a spiraling escalation of conflict and misunderstanding. Over time, this pattern can erode trust and intimacy, undermining the very foundation of the relationship. Let's now turn our attention to stonewalling, the 4th killer behavior. Stonewalling is when one person in a relationship withdraws from interaction, shutting down communication. It's like a mental and emotional fortress, impenetrable and isolating. The psychological impact of stonewalling is significant. According to research from the Gottman Institute, stonewalling creates feelings of rejection and invisibility. It signals a lack of respect and recognition, leaving the other person feeling unheard and unimportant. Over time, this can lead to feelings of loneliness and despair, gradually chipping away at the bonds that hold a relationship together. Interestingly, research also shows that men are more likely to stonewall than women. This could be because men are often socialized to suppress their emotions, leading them to withdraw rather than confront issues directly. However, regardless of who does it, the result is the same, a breakdown in communication and connection. Defensiveness and stonewalling can create a wall between you and your partner, leading to the relationship's downfall. But by recognizing these behaviors and working to overcome them, you can prevent this wall from being built and keep your relationship strong and healthy. The final two behaviors are belligerence and repeated repair attempts. Belligerence, it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But it's an even bigger problem in relationships. This is when one partner aggressively challenges the other, often leading to unnecessary conflict. It's like a stubborn refusal to back down, even when it's clear that the argument is going nowhere. And science backs this up. A study from the University of Washington found that belligerence in a relationship often leads to a cycle of negativity, causing both partners to feel cornered and defensive. This, in turn, can create a hostile environment where love and warmth struggle to thrive. Now let's talk about repeated repair attempts. Sounds positive, doesn't it? After all, trying to fix problems is a good thing, right? Well, not always. When we talk about repeated repair attempts, we're referring to the continuous, often failed attempts to resolve the same issues over and over again. It's like trying to stick a band-aid on a wound that needs stitches. Scientific evidence supports this too. Research from the Gottman Institute shows that repeated repair attempts can lead to feelings of frustration and helplessness. It's exhausting to keep going over the same problems without finding a solution. This can create a sense of hopelessness, leading partners to question the viability of their relationship. In some cases, it can even lead to the premature end of a relationship that could otherwise have been saved. So, what's the takeaway here? It's simple. Be aware of these behaviors in your relationship. Recognize them for what they are and take steps to address them. Remember, being stubbornly argumentative or constantly trying to fix the same issues without success isn't helping anyone. Belligerence and repeated repair attempts, while appearing as minor issues, can cause significant damage to a relationship. Now that we've examined these 6 behaviors, let's consider their collective impact. Each of these behaviors, in its own way, can cause substantial damage in a relationship. When combined, however, their effects can be catastrophic, leading to a gradual breakdown of trust, mutual respect, and shared affection. Firstly, we have criticism, a behavior that chips away at the self-esteem of your partner, creating a hostile environment. Then there's contempt, which goes a step further by belittling and demeaning your partner, leading to resentment and withdrawal. Defensiveness, the third behavior, blocks communication and prevents resolution of conflicts. It creates a wall that hinders understanding and fosters a cycle of blame. Stonewalling, our fourth behavior, creates an emotional distance and shuts down any possibility of dialogue, leaving issues unresolved and feelings unexpressed. Following closely is the behavior of gaslighting, a manipulative tactic that makes your partner doubt their own perception, causing confusion and loss of self-confidence. Finally, we have the destructive behavior of neglect, which erodes the bond of affection and companionship, leading to feelings of loneliness and despair. Each of these behaviors, if left unchecked, can lead to the eventual breakdown of a relationship. But by recognizing and actively avoiding these 6 behaviors, we can help to create a more harmonious, understanding, and loving environment in our relationships. Remember, understanding and avoiding these 6 behaviors is the key to maintaining a healthy relationship.